Hello, hello, beautiful one. It's Fabienne from Bold Heart, and I hope that you had the most wonderful summer. I just got back 2 days ago from spending the summer in the south of France. You may know that I live in Paris, but 3.5 years ago, we bought a home, a French farmhouse in the south of France in Provence. And we just came back from 2 glorious, sun-drenched, I'm not sure it rained more than once the entire 2 months, soul-filling months as a family with friends. It was honestly everything that I imagined before we purchased this house and so much more. If you've ever been to Provence, you know that there are open air markets in every town, every city, and it is ripe tomato season and the melons and all the gorgeous courgette or zucchini flowers. Just beautiful, beautiful scenery everywhere. You may know that I love to cook. In fact, I think we went out only 2 or 3 times for meals in restaurants because I am cooking lunches and dinners. So we're having long meals in the shade of our plane tree. I think it's also called the sycamore tree. Just slow afternoons, either napping or by the pool or just wandering the cobblestone villages and spending evenings around the table with friends and family. My kids were all there, just really spending a lot of quality time with my husband, Derek, talking about life and dreams and really just unplugging, just really living a life that I dreamt of. I don't know how else to say this. And it wasn't a whirlwind vacation, but it wasn't a rushed week squeezed between deadlines. It was for me a true pause and a time for connection and spaciousness. And this is what I dreamed about when I opened my business 25 years ago. And I want to talk about creating your version of this today. And so as I'm easing back into work this week, and you probably are too, I just found myself reflecting on something important. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, because I believe that freedom, real, expansive, soul-aligned freedom, should be a part of how we women define success. I don't know if I've shared this with you in past episodes, but I used to be in all the guys' masterminds, right? Everybody that you have heard about in my industry, I have been either in their masterminds, coached by them, or have been in masterminds with them. And what I've noticed about the guys, it's all about well, most of them, not all of them, but it's all about accumulation. And let me show you how much I've made. And let me tell you about my new car and my other Italian sports car and all of that. And what I've realized is for us women, we don't really care that much about how many sports cars we can fit in our multi-car garage. For us, I think it's more about time off, freedom to do what we want, when we want, with whom we want. And for me, that has always meant a lot of time off. If you're anything like me, you started your business because you want to make an impact in people's lives. And for me, that is one of my greatest values, is to be a catalyst in people's lives. That literally makes me have a tear in my eyes as I put my head on the pillow at night. But it's also about doing things my way, which is why I felt like I was so unemployable when I was working in corporate. I just wanted to live my life according to my rhythm and my schedule. And so for me this summer, it was about spending 2 months in Provence. I think I left Provence for one day to come back up to Paris to do a morning of videos with my agency. And then I was back, and I want you to start thinking about what your summer was like and what you would like it to be. How many weeks of vacation would you like to have per year? For me, it's a lot. I want a lot of vacation. And for you, it might be, 2 months traveling. So as we're thinking about your next summer, I want you to think about what your ideal situation would look like. Do you want to pick one place like I do and spend 2 months there? Is it Greece? Is it Mexico? Is it going to a yoga retreat, or maybe go to India for a silent meditation retreat? Is it traveling the world with your kids? Maybe for you, it's really just about unplugging for 3 or 4 day weekends all summer long, or taking a few weeks and writing a book at a mountain hideaway, maybe painting in your studio, or finally just having the mental space to take real breaths without obligation. Whatever it is for you, I want you to know that it is absolutely possible. It is possible to create next summer the way that you dream of creating it. But it doesn't happen by accident, does it? Freedom doesn't show up because you get lucky, and it certainly doesn't show up when you keep running your business like you're the only one holding it together. It shows up when you decide to design for that type of summer. Let me back up for a moment. I personally have always dreamed of having a business that gives me lots of time out. And one day, I had a massive inspiration when I was talking to friends I met through masterminding. Years ago, I had dinner with friends of ours, now good friends of ours. In fact, they came and visited us in Provence this summer, Richard and Lisa. And when I first met them, we were sitting at dinner and they told us something that completely blew me away. They had just taken their kids on a year-long trip around the world. They broke it up into 2 parts, 6 months, and then a few weeks, I don't remember, back at home to regroup, and then another 6 months around the world. They went to every bucket list country. They set up tours for their kids, educational experiences, and they got so tight and bonded as a family. They did this for a full year, and their business kept going. It was just them, their children, and, shall we say, the open road. And they were exploring different cultures, different places, different foods, just making lifelong memories. And that never left me. And they could do it because Richard and Lisa are self-employed, and they've mastered many of the things that I now teach. And I just remember sitting there feeling this mix of awe, because it was awe-inspiring, and also longing, because that was it. That was what I wanted. I didn't want the exact itinerary, but I wanted the sense of freedom to do whatever I wanted. I wanted to spend time with Derek and the kids. I wanted to do, I don't know how else to say it, to do what I wanted when I wanted to do it. And something shifted for me that day. And that's when I made a silent decision, just for myself, that I would not wait until retirement, like many people do, to live that kind of life. And I'm hoping that this episode sparks something in you as well, if you resonate with this at all. I didn't want to wait for the perfect moment to enjoy the fruits of my business, of my work. I would build a business that could give me that kind of freedom now. And it's all about leverage. And if you have read my book, The Leveraged Business, you know exactly what I mean. And that decision, that moment changed everything. Because once I claimed that vision, I knew that I could reverse engineer it somehow. I didn't have the exact steps back then, but I knew that I could begin to make different choices. I could get strategic, and I could let go of the belief that I had to be involved in every single aspect of my business. And so I created systems, and I evaluated my then team and hired a team that I could trust and that I could leave my business with in certain times when I wasn't going to be there. And together we documented processes, and I empowered others to run certain aspects of my business even when I wasn't going to be there. Now, was it easy? No, because nobody was showing me how to do it. So I had to figure it out on my own. But was it worth it? Yes, 1,000 times yes. And that's what I want to explore with you today. Because while it sounds like I'm talking about me right now, I'm really talking about you. So let me ask you, what is your version of freedom? Let's talk about freedom of time and freedom of location. If you're in my program, you know I talk about freedom of time and location all of the time. And the question I have for you is, if you didn't have to structure your time around other people's emergencies or have your clients have constant access to you, or you didn't have to respond to every email notification within minutes, or you didn't have to deal with team drama, what would you do with that time? What is your version of 2 months in Provence in your own life? What would you do next summer if you weren't stuck working evenings and weekends just to keep up? Let yourself dream for a moment. We don't have to do anything about it just yet. Let yourself feel into this and give yourself permission to just create a vision of what could be. Even if you don't feel like it's possible next summer, give yourself 3 years. Because this isn't about just taking time off. It's about building a business that supports the life that you want to live. So if you have an idea of what you want to create, ideally for next summer, let's now break it down into some really practical steps. Number 1, decide what freedom means to you. Not what Instagram says it should look like, not what your mastermind buddies tell you it should look like, not what your peers who work too much are doing for their summers, but what do you really want? Is it a full summer off? Is it working just 3 days a week? Is it traveling with your family for 3 weeks? Or is it taking care of your health or practicing for a big sports event? Is it starting a passion project? Write it down. Make it vivid. And if it helps, journal about what that perfect summer looks like next year and be really specific. Because once you know what you want, you can reverse engineer the business to support it. This is what I do with the members of Bold Heart. And I've already talked to them. We're scheming to get them all to take 14 weeks of unplugged vacations next year. Watch them do it. So once you've written it down in big detail, step number 2 is to get honest about what's getting in the way of you having that. And this is where I've noticed most women get stuck. Maybe you have team members, but you're still in the weeds. That is going to get in the way. Maybe you're the one responding to every client email, or you're jumping on every call, you're approving every detail. Maybe you're the one who still does the sales and the delivery and the admin and the strategy. And then you're wondering why you're so exhausted. I'm not blaming you or shaming you, because I was that too at one point. But it bears repeating that it doesn't have to be this way. You might be telling yourself, I can't step away because everything would fall apart, or my clients expect me, or my team won't be able to do it without me. But here's the truth. If you're involved in every single little aspect of your business and you cannot take enough time off to feel like it feels free and delicious, then your business is already falling apart. It's just falling apart slowly. Because the real cost of staying too involved isn't just your exhaustion, it's the opportunities that you're missing, the ideas that you're not acting on, and the time with your family that you just can't get back. And just between you and me, this way of overworking, of feeling obligation when it comes to your business, is not a sustainable way to run it. And so I invite you to be brave enough to name what's not working. Again, not from shame, but from a place of strategy. Is your team not up to par? Do you not have enough systems in place? Do your clients expect to have you there for everything? What's getting in the way of you having more freedom? And step number 3 is to begin designing for freedom. And this is where things really start to shift. Let me give you some tangible places to start. First, look at your calendar. Okay? And how about we block off your dream time off now? Maybe it's all of July next year. Maybe it's the last week of every month. Maybe it's the 2 full months of July and August. Maybe it's every weekend is a 4-day weekend. There's no reason that you can't make this happen with some strategy and some bold-hearted courage. So let's look at your calendar, even if it feels scary. Put your version of 2 months of Provence in there, or your month in the mountains, or your Fridays off on the calendar every week for next year. What this does is it creates a powerful anchor for everything else. Then let's audit your tasks. What are you still doing that someone else could be doing 80% as well as you are? What are all those tasks that you're still involved in that you know you shouldn't be doing if you want to take your business to 7 and 8 figures with your life back? And you have a to-do list. I want you to start a stop doing list. Write down everything that you know you should stop doing. You don't have to put it all in place right now. We've got about a year until next summer. Every yes that you say to things you hate doing or you know you shouldn't be doing is really a no to your future freedom. It's a no to that vision that you wrote down just a few moments ago. And then we're going to systematize the repeatable. And here's what I mean. Are you sometimes reinventing the wheel every time you onboard a client? Every time you deliver a service? Do you customize every proposal? It's time to systematize it, document it, automate it, delegate it. This is what we do at Bold Heart. And then we want to have you build a team that you can trust, not just helpers, not just people who are there to just plug the hole or fix it with a Band-Aid. You need people who think like owners, who are empowered to solve problems. Not people who will just take your tasks and do them, but people who can be strategic with you, people who can actually take over once you're on vacation. And if your current team can't handle that just yet, there's nothing wrong with them, but it's not your dream team yet. Maybe there are great people, but you need to supplement with other people. You can build this dream team. And what I've noticed over all of these years is a dream team is just as affordable as a mediocre team or a not ready team. It's just about having a hiring process that shows you how to get the right people in the right seats and find them so that they are affordable and trustworthy. I will show you how if you choose to work with me one day. That's what I guide all of our members to do. And my dear sister, I know this might all seem like a big dream. Maybe you're saying to yourself, I would love that, but that's not going to happen in my business. I just want you to know that this is not reserved for other people. If you've built your business to 6 or 7 figures by sheer force and hustle and heart, I want to tell you it's time for a new way, a way that honors your nervous system, a way that creates income and freedom, and a way that gives you the space to actually enjoy the success that you've worked so hard for. It's time to reward you for all of the past hard work and to have it become easy for you going forward. And that begins with choosing a new definition of success. And I believe that is one that includes spaciousness. I want you to really think about that word, spaciousness and expansiveness, because why would you want it any other way? So let me ask you this again. What is your version of freedom? What would it feel like to wake up next July and know that your business is running beautifully while you're sipping your morning coffee somewhere magical, about to get on a sailboat in Greece, or hike the most beautiful mountain, or hop on a plane with your family to explore faraway lands, either fully unplugged or maybe just working much less than you do now? This is not a fantasy. It is a decision that's followed by a strategy and followed by the right support. And that's what we're here for, if you'd like some help. If you're listening to this and you're feeling a spark of possibility, I want to invite you to talk. I would love to hear what's going on for you and what you dream of creating for your business, but also for your life. This is my invitation to you to book a get acquainted call with me or my team at boldheart.com. There's also a link for it in the show notes. We want to listen deeply and help you map out exactly what it would take to have you step out of the weeds and into the role of the true visionary CEO, so your business supports your version of freedom. You don't have to keep doing it all by yourself. We've guided thousands of women to make this shift, and we can help you do too. Okay, until next time, dream big and then build the business that gives you the freedom that you love. Sending you all my love.